whenever someone's playing a cajon, a lot of people call it a box drum or a beat box. A lot of people just tend to watch it because it's a very interesting instrument. It translates to like box or drawer, crate. They originated in Peru, so the slaves were coming over and they wanted to play their music, so they would take crates off, like shipping crates on the boat, and they would just drum on them. Down in Peru or in South America, they're playing it in a circle and they're kind of going around. There's people with cowbells and all kinds of different instruments, and they're keeping a pretty constant beat, and they're just doing like kind of a drum circle style. In America, or North America usually, there is kind of a tendency to play it in the same style as a drum set where you're gonna be like, where you're playing it kind of like a... The first time I played it, I immediately picked up an interest with it, and I knew that I was like, this is something that I need to get. I didn't really know what I was looking for the first time. I didn't want it to be too expensive, but I also didn't want to get one that was cheap and would break. So I got one of those, and sure enough, it ended up breaking on me after, but I, worn it down pretty good for a couple years. I was a broke college student, so I couldn't exactly afford to purchase a nice new one, but at the same time, I was kind of like, it would be a lot more cool if I built it, Instead, I could say that I built this, and from there is kind of where this all started. After I built my first one, I just had friends and friends of friends and different people reaching out to me. They're like, hey, you can build me one? I quickly found myself leaving the hardware store with a bunch of building materials and different woods and stuff. And I got home and I was like, maybe I should do something with this. A lot of companies will, mix and match with woods, and it's a lot of fun to experiment with. I tend to use just plain old Baltic birch plywood. It's super thin, and that's what allows the drum to make the sound that it does, because it has a little bit more give to it. Kind of like the sides are real hard and sturdy in the front. It has more give to it. Sometimes I'll get it where they'll want a lot of snare sound, so I'll put a little bit extra snares inside of it, or I'll tighten the front plate a little bit more tight than other times so that it's really close to the snare wires and that it's really tight sounding. I really was wanting at first to build one for the drummer of Sunday Best, because he uses a cajon. So I did my research and I was like, I'm gonna look him up and see how, if he's got endorsements or sponsorships. And it turns out that his brother also builds cajons. So yeah, that kind of, I quickly got shot down there. There's a couple local bands that use them here in Bowling Green. And then I've had 4 or 5 that use them just about every Sunday at their church. It's just a hobby. It's something to do with my free time. I enjoy being able to build something and see the result of it when it's all done. It just starts off with a pile of wood or random materials, and you just kind of see it start from nothing, and then you build it up to something cool, and it's just really rewarding. As you go down, it starts getting a little bit more punchy.